welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and this weekend we're going to make the perfect knit bag. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Greatly appreciate you here. We are going to make this cute free pattern, really easy to do and really easy to make, little knit bag. So I have my balls of yarn in here and my long knitting needles, the circular ones, in here. I didn't do a top stitch on this one, but you definitely could. I plan to, and you can also put a couple pockets here or there. It was actually the bottom of the Mondo bag that inspired this bag. And I thought, well, if I'm going to start the knit club, I want to take a knit bag. And I didn't want anything too padded. So we're going to do something like that. Okay, so a couple of easy steps here. So you want the length of 16 inches and the width of 12 inches. You want to do that 4 fabrics for your front and 4 fabric cuts for your lining. And we're going to do that in a couple of steps. Okay, so first what we're going to do is I'll show you how I got to my step here. Is when I took my, and this is how you are your own pattern at this point in time. You're going to fold that chunk of fabric that you have, that's 16 by 13 or 16 by 12, in half. And you're going to measure up 6 inches, and you're going to put a little mark, and then you're going to draw a line from that folded edge all the way up to that 6-inch mark, and then round the corner just a little bit. And that is your template for your bag piece, and you'll need 4 of those. Okay, so I chose to do mine in this fabric here and here, as it matches my project bag that I have for my cross stitching. So I figure, why not make matching bags? And then I just have some of this blue and white gingham or checkered in the for the lining. Okay, and then I've just got this for the handles, which is just the blue for here. Okay, so let's first sew the linings together, and of course this is kind of right side or wrong side. It doesn't really matter with this one here, but be careful you're doing that. You make sure you're putting the right sides together. You're going to have just sew all the way down and then to the point, and then we're going to come and we're going to clip in just a few times to give that a leave. Okay, so free pattern, perfect knit pouch or knit bag, knit bag, knit bag, oh, knit bag. Okay, and you can probably pop these out pretty darn quick. No batting necessary. Okay. So you can make this flexible if you don't want to make it as tall, you don't want to make it as wide. It's up to you. Now we're going to put the 2 seams together. Okay, once we give these a clip, it's easier just if you think about it now to clip. Here's the scissors, sorry. Okay, and like I said, you're just gonna clip around the edge. Just a couple little snips just to allow for that ease. Okay, so do the 2 sides that you've sewn. Okay, just around the edge a bit. Okay, just around there. Now when you're going to put these 2 together, right sides together, of course, going to match that center seam. The points come together. You're going to match that up and put a pin so it stays there. And you're going to work your way up both curves, up to the curve. Okay. Make sure you pin or clip, whatever is more convenient for you. And then on one of these sides, we're going to leave a little bit of a pocket or a hole to turn it right side out, so we can get a nice clean finish around the top edge. Okay. Now we're going to do the same over here, and then we'll get that sewn. Okay. So let's start off the side that we're not going to forget to put our hole in. Start up at the top, back stitch, go to probably about there, do a little back stitch, clip, leave a good hand width to be able to turn this right side out. Come down here to just before the curve, back stitch, follow it. Stop just before your pins. And you will clip these two edges as well. And same as what you do for the inside of the outside of your bag as well. Okay, now let's do that so we don't forget. Okay, just on the curved edges a bit. Now, you're going to want to do this to the front or the inside and the outside. You're going to take your seams, you're going to match them up, okay? And you're going to make a little point here. Now you're going to take a ruler and you're going to measure over 1.5 inches. Oops, I want to grab the small one. Okay. You're going to measure over 1.5 inches. And you're going to put a mark, and you're going to make a mark that's about 1/2 inch long to 3/4 inch, and you're going to put a pin here, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're just going to come back and we're going to stitch this line here so that when we go to fold the bag so it's got this lovely little pleat, we have something that's even and it's going to be matching up on both sides, okay? So we know we're exactly the same spot on all of them. So we're going to do the same for the next one. Match up those seams, pull it to so you got the fold, come in 1.5 inches, do a little mark, put a little pin, and you're going to do that for the front and the back, like the inside and the outside, okay? Now you can, many ideas with this bag. Not just for knit. So okay, did we get all 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay, now we're going to make sure we put our fronts and our backs together. Here's our 2 different colors we're going to use. So we're just going to line them up there and sew on down and do exactly like we treated the lining. Okay. Just put one pin to hold it. Okay. And just do 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down and around. I'm just going to make sure that we're doing those clips around the curve. Okay. Okay, and now we'll match up these center points and build it out like we just did our lining. You could use 4 different colors. You could use all the same color. You could use it, make it scrappy, just as long as you get that piece size. Okay, see I put a little pin there, and then I'm going to put a little pin coming up around where the curve should be, and then up near the top. And we'll just go all the way. Okay, Don't have to leave a space because we've done that in the lining. Okay, and we're just going to go all the way around. Clip those, and then we'll do the same. Down here. Make sure we got everybody in the pool. Yes, we do. And then we'll do the same thing as we did for the lining. Might be easier to see on this side. So what we're going to do is going to match up those two seams, just like that. Lay it down flat as a fold. Come in, mark 1.5 inches. Pencil or wipe away. Nobody's ever going to see this. Okay. There. And then we'll do it again. For this one, I'm going to mark it on the middles of the fabrics, the fabric panel pieces. And you want to keep that there because you're going to put a little stitch. Okay. And one more. This one seems like it needs to be a little trimmed. Let's get that a little trim right now. Okay, now we'll just do a little stitch straight down on all of them, okay? Now, we're going to take that line reference that we just did, and we're going to go from the top, and we're going to come down about 1/2 inch, okay? Half an inch to 3/4 of an inch, okay? And then just do the same. The line is a little hard to see here, but I do know where it is. Okay. And this adds this nice little pleat, and if you do it in the same spot, in the front and the inner and the out, it lines up beautifully. Looks really nice. Okay, so there's the 4 there. You can see it's got little pleats. Okay, let's do these ones, and then I'll show you on this one because it'll look, you could be able to see it easier of what I do for the pleats. Okay. See, that's all I did. Okay, that's all I did. Just put a little stitch right there, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna flatten where that fold is, flatten it up against, even on the outside, and then you're gonna top stitch that, just right close to the edge, and then that's your pleat. Okay, just like that, and you're gonna do that to all the sides. Okay. Stitch first to hold it, and then you flatten the fabric from that fold where it was even, just like that, and then do a little top stitch. You can pin it and top stitch afterwards. That's what I did with the first one. You want to make sure it's lying flat and even. It's kind of fun. I found a little bit easier to go from the sew from the back than it was to the front. Just want to hold it there so we got that pleat as a memory. I'll go under here so you can really see what we did there. So there is where I've sewn it, okay? And then this is where that fold is. You want to take that fold, that's right there, flatten it up against where you just sewed. Get your fabric out, and then you just make sure it's nice and even on both sides, and you got yourself a beautiful little pleat, okay? And then just give it a little top stitch right close at the top there to hold it in place, so when you get it all together. Just, like I said, just flatten it out so it's nice and even. Right at the very tip, just to keep it there. Okay, now do that with this one. Okay, now we'll just stitch all those down. I'll grab my handle, and then I'll show you how I finish this bag off real quick. That is definitely the hardest and the easiest part, really. And I like it that you really can just design it yourself on, so easy. Just 2 rectangles of fabric and a little cut on the diagonal and a little round tip, and you're good. Round on the heel of it, and you're good to go. And you've created something, right? Okay. Now we got those 2 done. We're going to use the handle. I'll show you how to do the handle real quick. I took a 4-inch piece of fabric, and then I folded it on itself a little bit, and then just going to stitch down on both sides to make it even. That's exactly what I did on this one right here. Okay. So let's stitch on down, and then I'll show you where I place the handles in. And you could use your fancy decorative stitches on this one for sure. Some colored thread, some variegated thread. That's usually fun for any fun little project. Fun colors to play with. And you're just gonna top stitch on both sides. And of course you'll make 2 handles. So when you go to put this all together, you're going to put the handles at where the seams are. Now, whether you want your, like this fabric here with the little 4 petals on it to be my main fabric that's on the side of the bag, like it is here, or do I want the blue to be the main side of the fabric? It doesn't really matter. You're giving it all 4 equal parts at that point in time, but it depends on where you want to put your handle. So I want to put my handle so it's right even with this seam. I'm going to split the difference right in between, and you got to make sure that you're placing your handle the correct way. So you're making sure it's nice and smooth to the other side, and you're coming up and you're curving it. Okay, well, we want to take the seam allowance on this one off, or the salvage, sorry, not the seam allowance, my mistake, the salvage. Okay, and then we know if they're holding the handle, it's going to be nice. It doesn't have a turn in it or anything like that. So, and then you're going to put your lining in once you get those pinned and just stitch down. You're going to line your lining up with the right sides together, lining up where your pleats are. Make sure they're nice and even with each other. Okay, and then you're going to pin that all the way around and sew it all the way around. And then you're going to turn it right side out, and it's going to look just like this. And then, of course, you can do a lovely little top stitch all the way around. You could add a little tie for maybe where your snips will sit, or you can put a little pocket on the side for where the snips are going to sit or something like that. Yeah, and then just, it holds quite a few balls of yarn. It could hold a book, some knitting needles, and yeah, I think it would make a perfect little knit bag for sure. And of course you could use it for other things as well, for, you know, just even going to the market bag. So make the other handle just like that, and then just place it in and sew all the way around. So thank you, everybody. Big hugs to you. I hope you make one of these. I would love to see it, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you soon. Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. New project. Take care, everybody. See you soon.